Hey, look at this. See this? It's some good stuff right here. They're called the Cantare and they're Jade's signature throwing knives. And they're a bit weird in a very cool way. Because unlike most throwing knives, you only have 6 of them at any given time, and when you throw them out, they get embedded into the terrain and then fly back to you when you reload. It's actually where most of the damage you're gonna do with these comes from, because as they're flying back, their crit chance is set to 300%, so they deal guaranteed red crits. Additionally, when you manage to hit something with the returning projectiles, you and nearby allies get increased reload speed for a while. They require Mastery Rank 10, do primarily slash damage with a nice chunk of puncture as well, and they sport an 18% crit chance, a 2x crit multiplier, and a 22% status chance. Though this is a bit deceiving because, as I've said already, when they're returning back to you, their crit chance is locked at 300%. You can get the blueprint for these from the new Ascension mission on Uranus, and it has about a 5% drop chance on every rotation, so roughly about 20 rotations and you should have it. So let's see if they're any good, shall we? I'm a little bit worried that I'm not gonna like this because I move around a lot, like I strafe all the time, so I have a feeling I'm gonna miss a lot of the returning projectiles. How exactly does this work? So you throw them out, yeah, and then... Alright, that's pretty straightforward. Oh, this feels weird. This feels very weird. It's probably not the best against the infested when you're moving around and dodging them. But maybe in like a corridor it's better. You do get a ton of extra damage from the returning projectile though, because of the guaranteed red crit. I'm gonna have to get used to this. This feels rather peculiar to use. Let's figure it out then. I think I'm gonna stick to Merciless here because the extra reload speed is gonna be nice. Let's get the standard assortment of stuff, bit of diffusion, galvanized shot, and lethal torrent. Let's get prime target cracker in there as well, and we're not gonna run a crit chance mod because it loses a lot of value thanks to the crit chance being set at 300% on the returning projectiles. I wonder how this works with concealed explosives. I don't think this works at all. Yeah, it's just... it doesn't seem to be exploding at all. I kind of want to go corrosive encode here, so let's do that. The idea here is to freeze something as we're throwing the knives out, so when they're then returning, the enemy is frozen and we're doing double crit damage. Let's do a Grenier battle group. Let's not pause AI. This is incredibly odd, but it does work if you have good positioning. If you position yourself correctly and you sort of pay attention to where you're throwing the knives, you can do some serious damage here. Lovely. That's quite nice actually. I kind of like this. So far, I like this more than I thought I would. There we go. Nice and quick. Alright, let's put a D under galvanized shot right here. It is unfortunately not enough. I want to put in some fire rate. But yeah, we're 1 shy, so we're gonna have to put on another forma. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. For now, we can just run Gunslinger. That's 1 rank from the top. Ooh, that feels considerably better. Alright. So that's definitely the way to go. Bit of fire rate in there, so we can throw it out faster, so we can return faster. Also, okay, makes sense. Condition overload is multiplicative because the weapon is projectile based. So yeah, if you have a good priming pet, use it. I'm very curious to see how this feels in a normal mission. I'm actually starting to like this. This is quite cool. I thought it would be a bit of a hassle to constantly think about positioning, but because we added the fire rate, we can throw them out really fast, so the positioning isn't as big of a problem as I thought it would be. Not gonna lie, it can be a bit awkward sometimes, especially in strangely shaped rooms, but overall it's actually surprisingly nice. Come get some malice. And? Ooh, that was quite nice actually. I was not paying attention at all. You win this round, Melise. This is good fun. Ah, stop stealing my kills, Harold. Bloody hell. I hate Ambulance. Or do I? Do I actually hate Ambulance? I don't think I do. Wowee, that is... What? Okay. I went to this mission for a reason. It's because the tileset is very open, so you can throw the knives in really awkward spots, but... doesn't seem to be a problem at all. It's working just fine. This is awesome. This is why even if you're like fairly certain that you're not gonna like something, you should always try it because you never know. You know what? We are gonna put on the extra forma to max out Gunslinger because I want to run Lethal Momentum. I think Lethal Momentum is gonna be pretty big on this because not only will the knives fly out faster, they will also fly back faster. Aha. So, Jake the Star Child just decided that he's gonna give me 1,000 platinum because I'm always low on platinum. I told him that I don't need or want it, that he should keep it, but he insisted. So, thank you, Jake the Star Child. You are an absolute mad lad. And that, as they say, is that. Let us put a V right here. We can put a lethal momentum and maxed out gunslinger. There we go, 7.73. Lovely. Oh, that feels so much better. Like, adding the extra fire rate already felt good, but fire rate and projectile speed? Tremendous. While we're here, let's also do a clean test with no shards or pet. Yeah, this is considerably weaker, not necessarily because of the shards. Shards don't do as much as they used to before the update. But it's mainly because we don't have Harrowed, and Condition Overload I'm pretty sure is multiplicative here, so if you don't have a priming pet, that's gonna be of a much bigger impact than not having shards. Oh, this actually feels great. This is like so cool as well. Again, just like with the Harmony yesterday, it's not just that it does a lot of damage, it does it in a very cool way. I can wholeheartedly recommend this. It can be a bit awkward with Ospreys sometimes, and some of the big open tile sets are a bit sometimes, but overall, this is great fun. So here's the final build for the Cantare, and it's relatively cheap forma-wise, it's only 2 forma. We have Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot, Prime Target Cracker for crit damage, Jolt and Pistol Pestilence for corrosive, Gunslinger for fire rate, Frostbite for some cold and status chance, Lethal Torrent for fire rate and multi-shot, and Galvanized Shot for status chance and multiplicative condition overload. I would also highly recommend you invest into an Exilus adapter with this weapon, so you can run lethal momentum. It makes the weapon feel much better and it makes hitting the enemies with the returning projectiles far easier. And finally for the Arcane, I stuck to secondary Merciless just for the easy damage scaling, but also the reload speed. Then, just like with any other corrosive setup, Emerald Archon charts for more maximum corrosive procs are always gonna be nice. If you have 2 regular ones, you can easily strip all of the enemy armor with just corrosion alone. But they're not gonna have as much of an impact as a good priming pet, because I'm fairly certain Condition Overload is multiplicative here because the weapon is projectile based, so a good priming pet that covers the enemies on all kinds of status is gonna be much more important. If you're like me and you're looking at this weapon thinking to yourself, I don't know about the returning projectiles, that feels very finicky, don't worry, it's actually much easier to manage than you would think. Once you add a bit of fire rate and some projectile speed through lethal momentum, you basically don't have to think about it at all. You throw them out really fast, then you reload and bam, big damage. So I would absolutely recommend you try this weapon out. It does great damage in a cool way, it has a very neat unique mechanic, and it's not that difficult to get. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.